We're Paul and Karen Green, and we are going to start a video log of our life here in Michigan and projects that we undertake and just things that go on in our family and what we're able to accomplish over the next decade of our life. We found a piece of land here on the Muskegon River, 15 acres, and we've decided that we're going to build something here. We're going to develop it, build a house. We're going to help our kids build their house nearby. So we've got lots of projects in front of us. So as we get started telling our story, we'll take you back over the past couple of years and show you what we've done to get to where we are today. Unfortunately, we didn't shoot video during the past 2 years because we didn't think about doing a YouTube channel, and so we don't have a lot of video to share. But we'll show you the pictures and we'll narrate the story as it goes. And then in episode 2, we'll start in with video on current projects that we're doing. Here we go.
Yeah.
Our story begins with us moving from Texas up to Michigan. We arrived with trucks, campers, and trailers with all our stuff in it, found our way to the lot that we had purchased, and set up camp. Home sweet home. Our first big job was clearing the land, so we got chainsaws out and went to work cutting down trees. We cut trees and stacked logs, cut brush, and after several months worth of hard work, we ended up with clear spaces where we could build our house and our barn. Next thing that we did is we rented an excavator to begin excavating the barn footings. Karen used a transit to help make sure that the footings I was digging were level all the way around the building. We hauled in lumber and rebar for the footings, framed those up, poured them solid, and then got ready to stack quad lock ICFs on top of that for the concrete walls. Kylie was on site helping us for this process, and it wasn't long when we had our footings and foundation walls complete. Next, we took the tractor and went around and did all of our backfilling. And at that point in time, you could start to see how the land was going to play out with the building on site. Here's the hole for the septic system and the drain field tank. Karen and I installed that. It was our first time doing a project like this, but it really wasn't that difficult, and it's not that bad because it's never been used. The plumbing extended inside the building for our interior plumbing. We also dug holes for our water line and our power line coming to the building. Additionally, we did all of our mechanical installation so that we could have heated floors with insulation underneath the tubing. And we were at that point ready for a concrete floor pour. We built a utility building that houses all of the electronics for both our solar gear and our water. We bought solar components from the Alti store when the packages arrived. We unboxed them and began putting the system together. We built racks for our solar panels and positioned them to catch the sun efficiently. We dug trenches and installed conduit to carry the electrical wires back to our power shed. And then we put all the system components together so that we could store the energy and then generate electricity as we needed it. We also put the well controls and water filter systems in this building. The fun really began as we were able to start raising walls and having the building take shape in front of our eyes. Especially satisfying was to see the spaces for the garage doors going in there. Here's a shot of my lovely wife helping me do the framing up over those garage doors. Our youngest daughter Krista was here for a month or so as we went about putting the roof on, hanging trusses, putting on plywood, and then covering it with ice and water shield, and then finally putting on the shingles. We were mostly through that process when I hurt my back. Thankfully, we have friends in our church community who stepped in to help us out. A group of a dozen guys showed up one night to get the last 20 sheets of plywood put on and the Grace Ice and Water Shield rolled out. Then my friend Dave Bedgood helped me find some guys to put the shingles down. With the barn dried in, we were able to take a few months off and head south to visit family, see our old friends in church in Texas, and to get a little bit of R&R down in Alabama on the beach. Next, we headed to Colorado to see our oldest and youngest daughters. Krista, our youngest, took us up to the top of Pikes Peak, an experience at 14,000 foot elevation. That was a lot of fun. She also drugged me up the incline there in Colorado Springs. I don't know if she thought I could make it, but my goodness, that was a lot of steps. And I survived. From Colorado, we drove out to California to visit Mike and Katie. Enjoyed seeing things like the beach at sunset, Joshua Tree, Yosemite, and then coming back towards the east, we stopped and saw Bub and Bonnie, our dear friends from Alaska, while we were at Zion. And then on to Bryce's Canyon, to Arches in Moab, and the Grand Canyon. Quite spectacular sights. We really enjoyed seeing them all. Upon our return to Michigan, we found everything just as we had left it there in the barn, dry, safe, and sound. So we started pulling things out, getting our campsite set up so we could get busy with another year of building. One of the first projects for the year was to complete the exterior. So we taped all the seams, and then we added a house wrap layer, and then we added James Hardy plank boards. Painted it a two-tone color, and I think it turned out pretty reasonably. We used the same materials on the utility building to finish it as well. We turned our focus now to the finishing of the interior. First by addressing all the interior rough-in disciplines with electrical and the structural and the plumbing and the mechanical. One by one, we would complete those disciplines and get the approval tags for those so that we could get an okay to cover. We made short work of getting all that sheetrock hung. We put batt insulation in the walls, and then we brought in cellulose insulation to blow in the ceilings. We put a layer of R48 up there. It was a messy job, but it wasn't too difficult. Having a mostly completed barn meant that we now have a place to put our tools. We also set up a place where we could kind of live temporarily while we're building our house in Heather and Kyle's house. We did finish one of the rooms in back to make a nice comfortable bedroom as well as a nice bathroom. Love those hot showers. The completion of the barn did mean that we could get out on the river a few times and enjoy that, play with the grandkids, but our work for the year wasn't done. We turned our focus now over to the building project at Heather and Kyle's house. With the concrete already done, the task now in front of us was simply framing up the building. And so beginning in August, we started framed up the basement, put on the first deck, the main level walls went in fairly fast, second level floor, the upper story walls. Finally, the trusses went on, and we were a pretty happy crew to see each milestone come. However, we weren't done yet, as we had to get all of the sheeting on the roof, the Grace Ice and Water Shield down, the felt, and then finally the shingles, and get that all done before the end of the building season.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and all that kind of crap. We don't know how to do YouTube yet, but
we're figuring it out.
We're figuring it out. Love you guys. See ya. Bye. I'm Paul.
I'm
and
Karen.
This is my wife, Karen. I'm Paul.
I'm Karen. And we're the Greens. Honk tonk.
All right, take 71. This is my wife, Karen. My sunshine.
Not always.
We're cold. We're cold
Welcome to Michigan.
and warm. Our daughter said
70 degrees.
70 degrees and sunny all the time.
Yeah.
Liar!
Liar!
Yeah.
My wife, Karen. She is a camper at heart. And I am on a mission to get that out of her system.
Probably won't happen.